Hi, I'm Ryan, and you're watching my YouTube series on functional programming. In this episode, we're going to talk about the I/O container. And in case you're wondering what the I/O container is, it is a way for you to wrap any behavior that deals with the external environment. For example, you're trying to read a cookie, you're trying to read the window location, or you're trying to read something from the local storage. So all of these actions are a way for your function to interact with something that is not part of its arguments. And the IO container gives you a way to wrap this logic such that you can still write functional code. And by that I mean you are still able to map over logic. So, so in this video, I'm quickly going to go over the example. I've already written the code. So let's say you have this IO container here, and I'm going to import it. And I'm going to show you what it is. So the IO container is slightly different because instead of just taking, a value in the new as a new argument, it takes a function. And the nice thing about this is that if it takes a function, it can actually execute at a different point in time. So you will have you will have to ask it to execute. So it is not executing, not going to give you the value at the time of writing, right? So over here, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to capture the cookies, which is just a value for a counter, and I made a new IO container, and then I'm trying to map on it. And I'm just trying to increment it and put some exclamation marks. And if I try to run this code, see what happens. Like there's no output at all. And that is because this does not even get a chance to run. So let's look at what the IO container actually is. So if I go here to my file, I have, let's say the IO container here, the off takes a value and returns it a static value basically. If you're trying to use off and you're just going to give it a value, it'll wrap it in a function. But what we saw is we saw the new operator. So over here we use the new operator. So this will be evaluated at runtime. And after that, what I'm doing here is I'm simply composing the function that I'm trying to map. So the function that was provided to me is saved as the data. And whenever I try to map on it, right, I'm trying to return a new IO, but the function that I'm passing to this IO is a composition. So I'm saying whenever you get a chance to run, first run the inner function, then run the new function, and wrap it inside the IO. And that is key, right? So right now what happened is I created this inner function which went to data, and then I mapped on this which just created a composition. So whenever you get a chance, run this and run this with the output of this one. That's what compose does. You run this, and then say in the same way I mapped on this so I can create another composition. And the way I'm going to execute this is I wrote this little function here called exec, and it just takes whatever function you want to run, and it says okay, now I'm ready to execute. So I'm just going to invoke the data, which is actually a function. So if I want to run this, I'm just going to do .exec, and I'm going to print out the value, and there you go, we have the value 2 here. So this is a very simple way for you to just write functional code while interacting with the environment. And that's about it. Thanks for watching.